Hello, BookTube. I'm here to do a tag, and this is a tag that was originally created by Byways in Bookland, Jason Harrigan over in Ireland. It's called the Supermarket Shopping Book Tag, and it's really cool. I've already seen Steve Donahue do it too, and Jason kindly tagged me, probably to get me make videos again. I haven't been doing many lately. Been a busy time. We're getting ready to partially open up the library. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of rules and regulations. There's a lot of safety precautions we need to take for the staff and for the public. So I'll start right back in on those meetings tomorrow. But in the meantime, I thought I'd do this tag. It's great fun. So Jason's basically talking about he got this idea while waiting in line at the supermarket. And something I do, my wife and I will go. We still go to the big supermarkets over in Lebanon, New Hampshire. There's nothing like that really on this side on our side of the Vermont border. So we go over there, and we've seen a lot of changes. They now have the spray shields up between you and the cashier. They have directions on the floor, which always drive me nuts, because it's always going the wrong way for me, or I notice it at the last minute. Most of the people are wearing face masks, and there's always those that are just smarter than everybody else, I guess. And then they're cleaning the carts. They're doing all the things they need to do. When we first were going into the supermarkets, because you got to eat, they didn't have many protections for the workers, and that worried us. Now the workers seem to be more protected, but I feel bad for them when they have to get in confrontation with those who know better, I guess. So it can be stressful to watch, and I'm sure it's stressful for them to work. So, but we for the most part, we've seen some shortages, but now that seems to be clearing up. The prices have gone up. $20 to get a little package of hamburgers is a little ridiculous, but that's the way it is right now. The worst things have happened. So I'm going to start. He starts first with the list. Before going book shopping, including virtually, do you have a list? We don't even really have a list. We sort of have a mental list when we go food shopping, but not always. And I'm the same way with books. I know up here what I need, what I'm interested in, or what I'm lucky enough to find that I never even thought about. And that's great fun. I don't online book buy much. I did, some of you remember, get the letters of T.S. Eliot. I did some of those online. One came without a dust jacket, but the company kindly sent me a dust jacket for it. So that ended up being a better experience than it seemed like at first. But I think I love going out, the thrill of the hunt, and looking it up on a list online doesn't really do it for me. And plus I have had bad luck. So no, I usually don't. I know when I need something, or I'm hunting for something. Sometimes I do use my phone to take pictures of sections. So I have pictures of all those shelves. Multiple shelves in a shot, obviously. And a lot of times I'll just call up the picture and, okay, I'm missing this volume, or I'd like to have that. I don't have that yet. And every once in a while I come home and buy something that I already have. I did that with a variant cover on a comic book this week. So it does happen. So that was the list. For fruit and veg, good for the body and the mind, recommend a book you felt improved your physical or mental health. I chose this as an example. We have a large collection of cookbooks in this house. We enjoy them. This is Fiden Press, who I really like. See if I can get this glare. And of course, this is Italian cooking for those of you who know what Silver Spoon is. Well, I'm getting real bad glare. Not much I can really do about that. Hopefully it won't be as bad on the other. There you go. And, well, here, I open right up to vegetables. We find that by mixing up our diet like that instead of just doing the same thing over and over and trying to get different kinds of fish and different kinds of vegetables and different kinds of meals, making them a bit of adventure would also help improve our health. So I love these fighting press too. If you see them, they've done them now. You can get them. They got a beautiful one we have downstairs on Spanish cooking. They have a Portuguese one I'd like to get. They do wonderful stuff, and I think a China one on Chinese cooking just came out. But there's a lot of them, and they're well made. They're beautiful books. So yeah, I think that would work. The next one is tinned goods. Regardless of the label on the can, the contents are all too often bland. What is your tin can genre? I like tin food, canned food we call it here. Somebody just came out with a wonderful cookbook. I was reading a review of it on just that kind of cooking and how sometimes it's a form of preservation, right? Anchovies I get that way, kipper snacks, which is smoked herring type stuff, tuna fish if it's sustained fishing or line fishing. There's tapas bars that do nothing but tin, and there's small restaurants that do nothing but tin food. So I actually happen to like some. It's like anything else. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good. But I like it. But for me, I think romance novels have been listed. I have read some Georgette Heyer, and I actually think she was quite a writer. Self-help, and probably matters how you define it. Most of it I have no interest in. But, I mean, if it's an exercise book, right, maybe you can learn something from it. I'm sure everything has its value somewhere. But for me, I probably don't read self-help at all, so I have to go with that just for lack of something else. Meat and fish counter, prepared by a skilled butcher, fishmonger, just how you want it. Tell us about a book you felt was written just for you. And we do, at our supermarket, have cuts made for us, that sort of thing. Not so much with the fish. We did in Maine a lot more of the fish when we lived up there, but we don't do it quite as much as we should here. For a book that was made just for me, I brought this up, and unfortunately found out the cats had gotten in a fight and dinged it, which sort of irritates me a little bit. But I love this book. This is, again, it's going to be glare. Hopefully you can. There's just no way for me to get past that. It's National Geographic. It's 100 Years of Adventure and Discovery. I love National Geographic magazine. Let's see, and it's edited by C.D.B. Bryan, or just written by C.D.B. Bryan. Look at this. This book is just sparks the imagination. Here we go. It's just loaded with adventure, stories. Here we go. And I could go through this for hours and hours and hours. And they've done other one. They did, Brian Fagan did one with their guide. They did one on archaeology, history of archaeology. That was fantastic. The magazine's been around for a long time. They've had a big run of books, all that sort of stuff. So this is a book that I just can spend forever with. Really, really love it. And now I find out that a cat decided to probably chasing a toy, and things happen, I guess. Here, I have to have another drink of this. Cheers, Todd. So, let's see, where are we at? So, 5, baked goods. Bread is a staple for many around the world. Who is an author you can easily digest at any time of the day? And it's funny because we go to, not only when we go to the supermarket do we usually ask the butcher to help us out, but we also go to the bake section. And yesterday we looked for our bread we get. We get Portuguese sweet bread, and they didn't have any, and the baker came out and had some waiting for us. So that's always a joy. The kids love it, and we love it. So But for me, what we're looking for here is not what kind of bread I get, but an author who I can easily digest any time of the day. And for me, as it has been for years, it's Louis L'Amour. I've got tons of those leatherette volumes, and I got all these old paperbacks. My son's actually starting his first one of these today. He just finished yesterday reading A Princess of Mars by Edgar Rice Burroughs, and he enjoyed it very much. So yeah, he's a young fella. So, but he's getting a taste of all these old authors, and hopefully he'll like Louis L'Amour. So Louis L'Amour, any of them, and even if I've read, which I have, I reread them. It's not a problem. So chilled section. Recommend a cool new author or book you recently discovered. Okay, so I don't read new authors often, but I watched over on Paperback Junkie's channel when he was doing all these William W. Johnstone and J.A. Johnstone books, and I read one, and now I just picked up a second one. This is Shot to Hell, a Pearly Gates Western. I really liked the one I read before. I can't remember the title, which is what the whole point is, I guess. A lot of these series by these authors. There's a picture of the big name on the book, but this has since been taken over by J.A. Johnstone, who I believe is his niece. And I'm not sure how these are written. I mean, what the mechanical process is. Do they go out? Are they farmed out? I don't know, but they're great so far. The first one I really like. So that's my new author. I love westerns, so we'll see how that goes. So that was from the chilled section. So now we're into frozen section. Tell us about a book that gave you the shivers. I don't read horror much. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't read any in ages. But I do like Stephen King, and I particularly liked Salem's Lot. I've told the story many times how my parents were gone for a late evening thing when I was living in Bangor, Maine. Actually right around the corner from Stephen King's house. And I read that, and it was an autumn night, and I scared myself to death. Should have never done it, but oh well. So yeah, I don't like getting scared. So let's see here, frozen section. Okay. So the next one's beer, wines, and spirits. Name one of the first books you read that made you feel like an adult. Yes, I chuckle because we used to hand around books in high school, or geez, I was early in high school. And I don't know if any of you remember who Xavier Hollander was, but somebody gave me one of her books and had the word happy in the title. So if any of you remember that, it was a little bit of a shock to my innocent little system. So yeah, that was one of them. Okay, sweets, candy. What genre author is your indulgence when you need a little treat read? I read Star Trek novelizations, most of you know that, or westerns, or I like reading Lee Child or Alistair MacLean or the thrillers, Jack Higgins I really like. But for me, when I don't have a lot of time, I need an escape, but I need a story, because it's all about story, I go to these comic books. So I got a pile of them I'm doing now. I love these True Believers by Marvels that are reprints. And they're usually a theme because something's coming out or something like that. Here I just picked these up. I just finished the newest Conan. But here I've got, for True Believers, I got the Savage She-Hulk right here. You got the Avengers Celestial Quest here, another one of these True Believers. My local comic shop is open. You can't have a full store. They watch that, and you have to wear a mask and all that. But you can get in to see comic books now. And of course, we were worried because we love the people there. They greet us. They have my stuff ready, and They're just wonderful people, so we want them to stay employed. Here's True Believers Fantastic Four. Love that cover. So I have not read this one, even though some of these are all old. I haven't read most of them ever, or if I have, I've forgotten. This is a giant size Avengers. I just read this a couple hours ago. Legends Star Wars. Another True Believers. So if there's a new Star Wars title coming out, they can sort of promo it with some of these True Believers. This, I said that I had purchased accidentally under the list question, something I had. This is a variant edition, so I had a different cover, and I realized when I got home that I'd already read it. But that's okay. It's a different cover, so I'll bag and board it and put it right next to the other one. So I actually sort of like this cover. And then one that's been sitting around. I don't know why I haven't finished either one of them. There's a DC 100-page Batman Giant right here. And this one also is partly read and been sitting around forever. I have no idea why. And that is Savage Avengers, a series I really like. So yeah, that's how I indulge myself. I sit down with my comics. I don't need a ton of time. I did cancel some of my pull list at the local comic shop, and I'll switch around to some other stuff. I'll keep the Conan stuff going. I may be missing a few issues because of the pandemic. I'll hunt them down. So that's what I do there. So that was Sweets and Candy. We're on the magazine stand. If you read magazines, journals regularly, share some titles with us. Well, I do. I read a tremendous amount of them. Here we have the New York Review of Books. Which I love. I usually read cover to cover. London Review of Books, which I get regularly. I don't get the Times Literary Supplement. I can't afford to get all three of the big three book reviews. There was a wonderful article in here. It's by Andrew O'Hagan, called The Burnmouth Set. Let me see if I can get to it for you. Yeah, it's about Robert Louis Stevenson and Henry James primarily, but also other people. But about Robert Louis Stevenson. It's a big, long article. Absolutely fantastic. This came out, this volume 42, number 10. So 21 May 2020. So you might be able to find this on your newsstand still. It's worth just that one article. Like I said, I learned a lot. It was wonderful. Then, not surprisingly, fine book and collections. Fine books and collections. I'll take out this. It's got a little. So they will. Wycliffe Bible. Just collections and auction stuff. So here's auctions and exhibits. Wonderful book, magazine, I mean. Then I'm partway through this. This is one of my favorite magazines in the world, Wooden Boat. Just absolutely love it. Read a great piece here on the restoration of the Mayflower 2. Those of you who read a lot of nautical stuff will remember Alan Villiers wrote tons and tons of nonfiction, was a square rig sailor, and was the captain of the Mayflower 2. And they're doing a big refit. And then just all sorts of, I got it marked here, but this is what I'll be reading next, the article. So I love this magazine. Then I read Men's Journal off and on. I don't get everything. A lot of times if they have something in particular that's of interest to me, I'll do it. I like to fish, as my son likes to fish. So here's New England on the Water. The Angler's Guide. This is February. It's the last one we've gotten. I don't know why. Probably because we just haven't been over in the magazine parts of bookstores. But yeah, we both enjoy fishing. So here's ice fishing. And finally, for the fishing, we don't really hunt. This is sort of a newspapery type thing that's up here in New England. It's called the Northwood Sporting Journal. There is stuff about Vermont in here. Primarily it's Maine, but we're so close. We go up to Maine quite a bit, and there's all sorts of stuff in this thing. So, got here. So this is out of Scarborough, Maine. Yeah, so you have these local, regional writers, and sometimes they're quite good. So that would be it. So the next thing is check out. You got to do that, or they'll chase you down. This is time to go home and unpack. Tag some shoppers on their way in. Now I didn't get every name. I know that Jason at Byways of Bookland did a whole slew of people. Steve did a big run of folks. Can't think off the top of my head anybody that is. My kids are in there wrestling. That anybody really that let's see, they do this alphabetical. I know I'd like to tag Earnestly Eston, and then I found a new channel that I really enjoyed. And I'll make sure I say it right. Yeah, it's Motley Reads. Wonderful channel. I'll link them down below so folks can go check them both out. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're getting out to shop, maybe getting out a little more. It's a beautiful day here. Of course, we live in the country, so it's easy for us to walk around and not put anybody in danger or anything like that. But I hope everybody's being safe and enjoying some reading time, and we will see you later. Thank you, BookTube.